Welcome everybody. Just as you filter in, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Good evening, my name is Jeffrey Lowney and we are very excited to have you as part of our Startup Demo Day virtual edition here for August. And like I said, please feel free as you come in to introduce yourself in the chat. We are very happy to have you as part of the event. And so, my name is Jeffrey Lowney and I am the Community Manager at the ION. The ION anchors, activates, and accelerates the innovation ecosystem through partnerships, pathways, and programs that create opportunities to advance and sustain resilient economic growth in Houston. So generally, this is where, if we were doing this event in person, is where we would break up for a networking piece that we love to do as part of our community events. But unfortunately, with us being virtual, of course, we cannot do that now, but we have some opportunities to do so after. I'm very excited to announce we had more than 160 people sign up for tonight's event, which is a great opportunity to showcase the amazing presenters that are presenting their companies this evening. And about Demo Day. So the ION Startup Demo Day was first launched in 2013 by Start, a co-working space in East Downtown to showcase local entrepreneurs and startups. Over the years, it has grown into a cornerstone event for the Houston startup community. When Start closed their doors in 2017, they passed the torch to Station Houston, and the ION team took it over earlier this year. And for our sponsors of the event, we have Dell Technologies for Entrepreneurs, which we are very excited to announce will be presenting a cash prize to our final winner of this event that will take place in November, as well as St. Arnold. And if you are enjoying an adult beverage this evening, I hope it is a St. Arnold. Our format: each presenter will have 4 minutes to present their company. Immediately following will be a Q&A and feedback portion from our judges. And at the end of the event, the judges will announce one startup to move on to the semifinal round that will take place in October. And for our judges for tonight, we have Payal Patel, Ao Sapatan, and Frank Alvarez. Payal, why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us more about you and your background.
Yes, hi everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here at Demo Day tonight. I'm Payal Patel. Currently, I am Director of Plug and Play here in Houston. We are an active early stage technology investor, and we also run a corporate innovation platform. Many of y'all may know us by our accelerator programs. We opened up our office in Houston last fall. And then I guess just on a personal note, it's great to be here. Previously, I was a team member of Station Houston, so these demo days were, something I look forward to. So it's great to be back here.
Payal, thank you so much for attending and being a part of our judges panel. Fun little note that Payal actually helped me with my first ever demo day. We actually co-collaborated and moderated it together. So.
Oh yeah, we tag teamed that.
Yep. So Payal, amazing and happy to have you. And Frank, why don't you tell us more about yourself and introduce yourself to the community?
Sure. Thank you, Jeffrey. So a little bit of my background. I spent most of my professional career in the corporate world working for large chemical companies. I've held many positions in information technology, procurement, customer service. Currently, I'm working for LyondellBasell, which again is a global chemical company. We produce plastic pellets that go into many of the products that you probably use every day. As I said, most of my career has been in large chemical corporations. However, I did go out on my own and start a company about 10 years ago. It's something I always wanted to do, is to run my own business. So much to the surprise of my family, my friends, and certainly my coworkers, about 10 years ago, I quit my very stable corporate job and I started my own company. And the only reason I say that is because I understand the stress involved with running your own business, and most of the people on the line. So I understand the long days and nights and sometimes long weeks. So I commend you for the success you've had and that you will have in the future. In my case, I executed an exit strategy about 4.5 years after starting that. I was lucky enough to sell that company. And so, like I said, I'm back in the corporate world today working for LyondellBasell. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Frank. And I think we're having a few technical difficulties with the storm impending on AO side. So if we can get them in during the event, great. If not, we're going to roll through with 2 judges this evening. And for the stars of the show, our presenters, we have HelloWoofy, Fast Susu, and Annuity Holdings. And with that, I would like to please ask our wonderful event manager, Seraphina Van, to please stop sharing. Thank you so much. And Arjun with HelloWoofy, if you don't mind, please unmuting yourself for me.
All right, good to go. Sorry, that froze for a second.
No problem. The floor is yours, my friend, and please feel free to proceed.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Hey, everyone, this is Arjun, like Argentina without the Tina. I'm the founder of HelloWoofy, which is a smart marketing dashboard or a platform for the underdog marketeer. Many of you, as we call you, are the small businesses of the world. Now, for many years, and for a very long time, rather, small businesses have had to use tools that look, well, like this. Very old school, very clunky, and data starved, to be honest. There's no real intelligence to figure out why did you do really well. Was it the emojis, the words, the hashtags, the image, the size of the image? There's almost no information to help you become a better marketer, or as we like to say, marketeer, when it comes to competing with the biggest companies in your category. Now, talking about the biggest companies in your category, when you take a look at the tools that they end up using, the clunkiness factor goes through the roof. The cost of using a tool like this is anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000 a year in yearly licensing. And still, no intelligence, no easy way to understand what are the metrics, what are the points of conversions that are really helping you with your copy, with your social posts, your blogging, content, etc. There's almost no understanding, but you still need a team to be able to understand this information and then go back and create your own content. So we've been there, we felt the pain. Having been an entrepreneur for nearly 12 years, we built agencies, we built startups, we built a previous venture-backed company as well. And we understood this pain points that many of you are feeling, which is creating content, optimizing it, and hoping and praying that it will compete effectively against the biggest companies in the world is not a really good way, especially today when small businesses are getting, for a lack of a better term, screwed because of COVID. We need a better solution that's data-driven. And this industry, on a very conservative note, is anywhere from $18 to $23 billion by 2023. So we took a look at the landscape and we said, let's build a platform which is entrenched in 3 main categories or 3 main technologies, 2 of which are patent pending. First is the artificial intelligence, using the data science of hundreds of millions of data points around the world of many people and their conversations to see what is working, what isn't working, and optimizing in real time as you're typing. That's unprecedented capabilities for a small business owner that, again, only can spend about $5 to $10 a month in fees to use our platform. Well, that's great because we can actually provide that capability and AI capability at very affordably. Platform compliance, making sure that you're not getting in trouble with the many terms of service around the for social media platforms, and they're changing constantly, so we keep up with that. And then predictive linguistics. Basically, what that means is we help you autocomplete words and sentences in real time as you're typing them out. So, for example, if I'm creating a post, and I'm just going to give you a simple example, as you can see, as I start typing, it's giving me letters and words as recommendations of things I could be saying, and all I have to do is just tab away, and it'll complete the words and sentences for me. The most important thing is to notice that they're also being given emoji recommendations in real time of what I'm actually contextually relevant to what I'm actually typing. So not only is it auto-completing, but it's auto-suggesting. And the reason why emojis are super important is, don't take my word for it, take Adobe's word for it. Emojis tend to show double-digit, triple-digit, in some cases, uplifts in engagement and also uplift in purchase intent. And so we were the first ones to be able to build an engine that figures that out, also figures out which emojis are being used around the world in real time. And so there are multiple ways of taking a look at the platform, but we took this platform one step further. we decided to build a blogging platform as well that allows you to autocomplete entire blog posts. You can also use it in a Google Chrome extension to autocomplete entire emails or notes. But most importantly, with COVID and the fact that 82% increase in smart speaker market has been seen in just the last 3 months, we decided to build the world's first Amazon Alexa scheduler that literally allows you to schedule content directly into the living rooms of your fans, your customers, and living room, and customers and fans and listeners. Now, we experienced a whopping 16,000% growth in just the last couple of months. We've hit actually beyond 6 million. We've hit 10.5 million API calls, and which I can talk about during the Q&A. And like I said, we've hit 16,000% growth. We've hit nearly $165,000 in total revenue in a very short period of time. We have a great team of individuals all over the world. Someone or the other is working on the company at any given point. And we have some world-renowned investors back in the company as well, including Peter Thiel's Scout Venture 1517 and Draper Associates, founded by Tim Draper, formerly of DFJ Ventures. So I'd love to talk a little bit about how well we did on the TV show where we won, a little bit about the product as well, getting endorsement from Neil Patel, and some of the data science that we built behind the scenes. We're also raising capital on equity crowdfunding, so I'm sure there's a lot of questions around that. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Jeff.
Amazing presentation, Arjun. And for our judges' Q&A and feedback portion, Frank, do you have any questions or some feedback for Arjun and his pitch?
I do. Thank you. So I agree with Jeffrey that that was a great presentation. Thank you. I think it's, you know, a lot of small businesses, they don't necessarily know a lot about social media and advertising in that space. So I think there's definitely a need for that. You know, there's a lot of small businesses not associated with the technology space. So I think it's needed. Can you talk a little bit about your competitors? I didn't get that on the pitch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's a great question. In fact, we've partnered with the largest competitor, Hootsuite, with nearly 18 to 20 million social media professionals around the world. So that is a direct integration with their platform. So it's a win-win situation. We have the data science, we have the affordable packages, and they have the customer base. So we've been, you know, we've seen hundreds of customers in the last couple of weeks, you know, use both platforms in conjunction to one another. And then, of course, you have the Buffers of the world, you have Meet Edgars of the world, which actually happens to be formerly a Texan company, but they do like data science. They do like artificial intelligence. In fact, price point in many cases are, you know, 2 to 3 times more than even Hootsuite, and still not capable of being able to compete on the intelligence factor level.
Okay.
And just to mention also, just, you know, new products, we're almost building a new company every week. You know, the Amazon Alexa scheduler, never been done before. The Google Chrome extension that literally works across the internet. So if I'm typing in Medium, you know, being able to get the recommendations right there without any fuss, it's never been done before. None of our competitors are doing anything even close to it for the price of a cup of coffee.
Great. Thank you for that. One follow-up question, and, you know, speaking about your astronomical growth. So yeah. I don't remember the number, but it was huge. So what do you attribute that growth to? And then I guess to follow up that, I'll say, is that sustainable? How do you see that, you know, 6 months, 12 months down the road?
Yeah, it is sustainable if I continue not to sleep. That's for sure. But the growth is because of the price point. With COVID, we actually grew faster, unlike many other companies and startups who unfortunately went the other direction. We grew faster because of the affordability, the need for digital marketing in a world where digital is the only safe way to market to a customer and make sure that, you know, COVID isn't spreading, and money restaurants and, you know, small businesses have had to pivot. So we were actually, you know, thank God we were in the right time in the right place to actually accelerate our growth week over week, and helping, you know, virtual assistants, freelancers, you know, mom and pop stores, coaches. These are the individuals who are now forced to work from home and find clientele and continue catering to their clients, which is why it's very interesting in terms of what we're about to release in the next 2 weeks is the world's first Alexa scheduler, where you can literally schedule video or audio content or just text that will be read by the Alexa device into audio. And you could compete against BBC, against CNN and Fox. If you don't know the coding, you know, if you don't have the coding knowledge, you can compete effectively and become a broadcaster in your customer's living room within 15 seconds if you brought, scheduling it out. So we're actually working with Alexa, the division at Amazon, on this. We're also in touch with Google's CEO to get additional resources on their side. We've been in touch with Microsoft, Satya's office very, very much for the last couple of years. And so we do have a lot of strategic angles to go to market with, even further accelerate the 16,000% growth. And the 16,000% growth is just going from 30 customers to nearly 5,500 customers in a very short period of time.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Jeffrey. I know we're on a tight time frame here, but
Yes. One more question is okay.
I mean, we only have 2 presenters, so I thought we had some leeway. No, and again, I'm very impressed. I think you talked about real quickly your team, but do you have a little bit more background on the team and how you got to where you are? Because again, it's very impressive.
Oh, that's a movie. And I'll buy you a beer or coffee if you'd like and talk about it. We've done everything from having to fire co-founders to having to turn the company around for $12,000 in the bank to finding 2 jobs to building the company at 4 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock just for my full-time job and putting all my salaries, putting all my credit cards to the tune of $170,000 into the company. My girlfriend putting in $10,000 and helping us find extra credit cards as well. We've done everything to build this company and thank God in a very short period of time, in 7-8 months, we've been able to not only accumulate all of the investment that my girlfriend and I put in personally, but we've been able to accelerate. And you should definitely talk to our investors because they were ready to give us a pass on this and invest in the next big thing, but we stuck with it. And we got on the TV show. Unfortunately, my mom passed away just before the TV show aired. And we've been through everything, but we built a company for people just like us, the small businesses, the underdogs. And as you can see, we're making money and we're expanding very fast.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Frank. Pyle, do you have any questions or feedback for Arjun with HelloWoofy?
Sure. I guess first off, very impressive pitch, Arjun, and very bravo for what you've built. I'm so sorry about your mother's passing, but I know what you've done is something to be proud of and something she probably is very proud of you as well. Also, you've got some impressive investors on your cap table.
Yep.
Coincidentally, my buddy Matt Harris just started Draper Associates Austin office. So if you
Nice.
if you ever talk to him, let me know. And then
Sure.
just finally, if you don't know anyone at Plug and Play on our ventures team, please email me, and I'd love for you to talk to someone. If you
Yep.
ever raise another round, I want my team to at least look at it.
Sure. We have raised about $500,000 on equity crowdfunding. Legally, we're allowed to raise another 689,334. It's an SEC requirement. And so we are looking at an additional 1 million on top of that to close out a proper $2 million round. And if you take a look at our financials, just $400,000 will get us 18 months, but the 2 million is to accelerate the growth beyond 24 months, given our financials and how well we're doing.
Okay, awesome. Well, the first question I had, I know on one of the slides, you mentioned your technology is patent pending. Are you able to share what those patent applications cover?
Yeah. So one of the we built a search engine to kind of highlight the data science behind it, which is showing you how 4 different languages work together. One is the English language, and we can do any language, Italian, Hindi, whatever it is, comparing it to hashtags as a language, emojis as a language, and then images. And so what essentially we're doing is, again, this is one of 4 algorithms that are patent pending, is trying to figure out from a neural standpoint, and again, the customer never sees this, is why are certain words being recommended with other emojis, and why are those causing engagements to go up, and why are those emojis doing well with those hashtags and those hashtags doing well with those words, and so on and so forth. So it's a very complex net graph. This is like a percentage of the whole the data set, which is about 150 million data points. So it goes into figuring out why certain things are being recommended. Now, the typical question we get is Apple's doing this, WhatsApp's doing it, and they're using keyword based analysis, which is basically saying if you put love, you get a heart. But what they don't realize is if you're putting in living room, oh, we made a sale. So we have lights blinking in our office whenever we get sales. So if you put in living room, Apple will not give you is a recommendation of a house or a chair or a table or food, which is right next in the kitchen, which is next to it. So it's almost like teaching a kid to learn how to speak 4 different languages at the same time. And so we've been able to figure that out from a very different approach, which words tend to do well, which so on and so forth. So that's one of the patents. The other patent that we filed for is a similarity engine. And one of the things that we've, are the only ones doing this is figuring out how similar is any piece of content to something else you posted across this social sphere, as well as in your library. And the reason why we do that is because Twitter hates similar content. Jack Dorsey very clearly said similar content and duplicated content is not allowed to be posted over and over again on Twitter. So we actually prevent you from getting to 95%. As soon as we get to 95%, we'll tell you, hey, this is too similar, but why don't we help you switch it out a little bit? So we'll find synonyms for you. We'll find similar hashtags based on the hashtags you've already used as well in real time. And all of those little details will help you circumnavigate the terms and conditions very easily as an SMB owner.
Okay. And then,
so those are the two. Yep.
I'm also curious, like, what is your go-to-market strategy? What's your customer acquisition cost? Because I imagine, that matters a lot to you. And also, I'm curious, do you know what your lifetime customer value is?
Yeah, so it's about $900, but we're charging a very low price right now. This is more of a land grab opportunity. This is more of a expansion as fast as possible opportunity because the data, unlike any of our competitors, the data that's the first party data from our customers as well as the aggregated data that we've been getting and training on, it exponentially trains the artificial intelligence. That itself is an API called Word Data, which you can take a look at on your own time. Word data and emoji data are literally the only emoji, as API as a service solutions that any platform can use. So the more data we get, the more users we get, the better this becomes, and we can resell that to enterprises and other platforms that are looking for autocomplete solutions, emoji suggesting solutions and whatnot. So it's a bit of a bigger vision, which is in our deck actually in terms of the 10-year vision, which is step 3 in terms of where we want to go, is be the Stripe for all linguistics across the internet. And we already started doing that with the Google Chrome extension. That does work pretty much on 75 to 80% of the websites on the internet that have a text field. But that's kind of where the vision is in terms of how do we turn this into a multi-billion-dollar vision.
Okay. And do you have any like exit strategy or like what's the end game for you?
So we are actually in talks with one potential acquirer, and it's a competitor. It's a very big competitor of Hootsuite. So we'll see how that goes. We were actually initially looking for an integration because they heard about our integration with Hootsuite, and I can't really talk more about it than that. But it would make sense for a media company, especially with the Amazon Alexa scheduler, allowing creators to become broadcasters on the fly. That would make sense. Another social media scheduler that's north of $50 billion in terms of revenues, ARR would make sense. Companies like that.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for your time.
Sure, absolutely. No, thanks for your time.
Thank you, judges. And once again, amazing presentation, Arjun. And very excited to see the sustained success of HelloWoofy so far. And can't wait to see, 6 months to a year from now, you guys rocking it out there. So thank you so much for being part of the event this evening. So I would first like to start off by saying all of our presenters this evening not only taught myself, but I hope taught all of you out there about a wide variety and new skill sets that we can all learn together. And with that, I'd like to once again say amazing job to Nisha, Arjun, and Kimberly with their presentations, and so thankful to have them a part of our ION community and presenting here this evening. And with that, I'm happy to announce that Arjun with HelloWoofy is the winner of tonight's demo day. And before we bring him up and congratulate him, I would like to say that Arjun and the HelloWoofy team will be moving on to our semifinal round in October. If they win that event as well, they will move on to the final round in November, to where they will have the opportunity to present and compete for a cash prize presented by Dell Technologies for Entrepreneurs. And so I think our judges are back and just had some closing notes for all of our startups. So judges, whenever you're ready, please feel free if you have any closing remarks for our presenters this evening.
Kyle, you want to start?
Sure, and I apologize. My dog is going crazy in the background. Again, great presentations. Nisha, I already know you, but for the other two founders, please reach out to me because I'd love to get you in front of my ventures team. All three, business ideas, have a lot of merit, and I wish you all the best. I think, the reason we went with HelloWoofy was just the traction. And especially during COVID times, like the market opportunity. But it was a very tough decision.
Thank you, Pyle.
Yeah, I would concur with that and say that they were 3 great presentations. And again, thanks for having me. I was kind of a guest sitting in because somebody couldn't make it tonight. So appreciate being here. But all presentations were great. Like we talked about, I think at this point, what we struggled with is if we were having to write a check today, who would we invest in? And maybe it was about what we understood more than the other, but all great, 3 great companies. So I would encourage you to continue doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. And with that, Arjun, any thoughts, closing remarks? Amazing job, my friend, and great presentation this evening.
Yeah, thank you. I'm humbled to receive the prize, I guess, or the nomination, and so thank you so much. I think all of us can relate that building a startup is not the easiest thing, and probably not the most sane thing to do either. So you do have to be a little bit crazy. But again, thank you so much, Nisha and Arpile and Frank for the nomination. And Frank, since you said if you were going to write a check today, I'm going to follow up with you on LinkedIn, and we can hash some details out.
Call me up, man.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I actually do have to run to another pitch, but thank you so much for the opportunity, everyone. If there's anything I can do for you, reach out to me, Arjun, ARJUN @HelloWoofy. My email's in the chat. But if there's anything I can do for you, even if you need to talk about small businesses, if you're going through something, how to get on digital, how to use marketing to advance your business, that's what I love doing day in and day out, is just helping small businesses.
Perfect. And once again, amazing job, all presenters, and great job, Arjun, in the HelloWoofy team on your sustained success so far. So upcoming, you will be receiving a recording of this event if you would like to share with friends or family. And I'd like to thank all of our ION community for attending this event, and we're excited to see you at some of our upcoming events taking place. And with that, I'd like to say thank you, good night, and please stay safe with some of the inclement weather that's coming in. Please stay safe out there. Good night.